What's up, EOS community? We are live. Hello, everyone. It's hot sauce time. How you all doing out there? I sent some good vibes out there because we got some big news this week. Big news indeed, with a little bit of hot and spicy, as we like it, kimchi flavor, right? So let's get into it in a little bit in the topics. Hey, everyone. I'm Martin, your host for the hot sauce today. And yeah, welcome to the EOS Nation Hot Sauce, the EOS Nation YouTube channel, where we host the hot sauce and a couple of other good crypto news. We have Pomelo explainer videos, we have the Wax Discovery show, but today it's all about EOS because EOS has been mega active recently, and we will cover here every week for you the spiciest news of the EOS ecosystem and some news about Antelope chains, where EOS Nation is also a block producer and pretty active in building out Web3 technology. So this week we have some big news from Busan, the second largest city in South Korea, and if you do, I'll suspense a little bit. I'll not break it right now. We will hear about this later, but it's very exciting. The ENF also released a quarterly report where they basically, for Q3 of this year, summarized all the investments that they did, all the activities that they did, a lot of the stuff that we covered here already in the last weeks, but like seeing it all in one report is really impressive. Kudos to the ENF for the great work that they're doing. Also, the Yves, the mega boss of the ENF, met with the new Eden Chief Delegates for their starting term. We had Defibox having their new proposal approved, which has a great impact on the DeFi 3.0 ecosystem on EOS. And Recover Plus was released a nice article about the details of this insurance layer for DeFi on EOS. Pomelo Robots potions are live, and you can blend some robots. No, you can blend the potion and then get some robots. Then we have some news from Chintai, quarterly report also from the Helios team, and some updates about their ongoing hackathon. And yeah, it's Halloween time, so Upland is doing some crazy, spooky stuff in the Upland metaverse, the busting metaverse on the EOS blockchain. So let's get right into it. The week kind of had like an interesting start when Yves said there's some unexpected change of plans and he needed to fly urgently to South Korea. And yeah, apparently there's some game changer. So, there was a lot of speculation. People were like in the fireside chat, we went kind of with speculation, went crazy. Some people thought like Yves is joining BTS as one of the Korean pop bands. That was quite funny. But, it was like a secret bit till a couple of weeks ago. And now we got the news. So the EOS Network Foundation officially signed a memorandum of understanding to be a founder of the Venture Capital Alliance of Busan Blockchain. As I said, that's right. Busan is the second largest city in Korea, and they are planning to become the crypto hub of Korea and probably also Asia. And it's super interesting to see the EOS Network Foundation representing EOS, the EOS blockchain there as one of the 6 founding members. So it's a really impressive list of players in the crypto scene. We have Alpha Nonce, Coiness, which have a really large community and media outlet, Foresight Ventures, UKX Block Dream Ventures, and Ragnar Capital Investment Management. So it's an impressive list. Like we will see later some pictures from the celebrations there. But so they're building like basically like a special economic zone with like really crypto friendly regulations. That's basically the administrative side of Busan City, like providing like a nice environment for crypto firms to basically start building out their Web3 companies and their blockchain, the blockchain industry of South Korea really there. And as it says here, like collectively these these partners hold $700 million in assets, and they will invest in this project starting on November, in November. So in just a couple of days, 100 million into blockchain-related companies in the next 3 years. So this is really like building a long-term partnership in with EOS in South Korea. It's just like, if you look at these partners here, it's a couple of venture capital firms that invest in companies, but EOS seems to be like the only kind of like blockchain. It's like that's involved in this company. It's like it's the only organization that has a token, and I think it will be really good for building out the EOS reputation in Korea, having more young companies like learning about EOS and you know, building there. Like if you think about like the partners of the ENF, you have OCI who did already a lot of like blockchain workshops. All the output that's coming from the ENF when it comes to education and community building, and it's pretty impressive. Or just thinking about like what might happen in this city over the next 3 years and in the long time there. So Yves Larose summarized this in a tweet. He's pleased to announce that the EOS Network Foundation has signed a monumental agreement with the city of Busan, as I just said. And it's right from the start, the ENF is right there. We see some great pictures here, like it seems to be like a nice event. This is the mayor of Busan. And here we see all the partners together in the celebration to found this, this great initiative to bring Busan blockchain forward. That's right. Okay, so it's pretty exciting news. Also, like the major crypto, like crypto media, the general crypto media is starting to pick up on this story. It's good to see, like, you know, in this situation that in the overall, when the crypto markets are a little bit like, you know, not so excited, and a lot of people are you know, not paying attention, that EOS is continuing to build really good partnerships and being like really putting EOS back on the map, and showing that EOS is ready for business. So yeah, that's 100 million in the next 3 years, starting on November 2022. That's right. And that's really looking at this, like here we see like the celebration right now. I'm not sure if this is still ongoing. Zach Gall shared a little bit of these activities. There are a lot of players like here, as we see, like showing up for this event. This is in Busan. They're celebrating this kind of announcement right now. Yeah, but it's really the result of all the activity that the ENF is bringing forward since its foundation, like a little bit longer than a year ago. And every quarter they're releasing these reports where they're in detail, in full transparency, show all the activity that they're building, all the activity, like how they're investing the allocation, their token allocation that they get from the network back into the ecosystem to build it out. And as I said earlier, like it's really impressive what they have brought together here. And these partnerships that we see in Busan are just like sorry, it's just like a confirmation that what they're doing is right on track, and doing the right steps, and it's being recognized by the wider crypto scene. So a lot of the things, like in Q3, we celebrated the EOS Independence Day, which was basically the upgrade and forking our managing their own code base for in the community right now, finally breaking away from the repository that was previously managed by Block One. That was a major milestone that happened in Q3. A lot of the outreach started right now that we have the foundations going. We see here an event that we attended in Cologne. And a lot of like crypto events. The ENF is now working with Zaisan together. I'm pretty sure that the news from Busan was also going. The foundation was laid there when Yves, before the token 2049, went to Korea to meet some key players there. So it's really time for, after all these like laying foundations, that EOS is being recognized. So. Here, the Zaisan partnership was something that is really about this outreach, the go-to-market strategy that we will see more and more this year and the following months. And here we see the schedule. There's November and December is coming up. I think everybody's super excited for the token 2049 in London coming up in November. But right now, the Zaisan team just finished the blockchain expo in Zaragoza in Spain and getting ready for the big web summit in Lisbon. And the Lisbon Web Summit is not just for blockchain. That's basically like a really, really big internet company. And we'll see a lot of like attention now shifting to Web3, and EOS is well positioned to play a key role there at the moment. So yeah, community funding. Pomelo Season 3 was funded. Pomelo Season 4 is coming up with another like big chunk of money from the ENF being distributed for the community for public goods through quadratic funding. That's something the ENF is consistently putting money in, which we're really thankful for. Here were the statistics we see here. I'm hoping for Season 4 we can break all these stats here and start growing the Pomelo community. Yeah, and what else do we have here? So number of grants, we see a lot of like stats here from the Pomelo. That's a lot. So the direct framework started, which is like more aiming to directly invest into for-profit companies, or also projects that are not necessarily a public good, but open source. So there are some direct grants that were approved. Facing's got one, nice one. Gaming tools company. And yeah, a lot of stuff going on here. HiFiDAO released, got a great grant for $850,000. Great stuff here. The .gems team got a found. So the whole report is pretty detailed, and it's all linked in the show notes for you, so you can take a look in all the activity that's going on. We will touch later here on the Ideathon from Helios team. As I mentioned earlier, the OCI partnership was turned like it's really impressive list. What I could go on and on and on. The Yield Plus, we'll touch upon this in a bit. Was something that launched in Q3. Recover Plus, Trust EVM. All these kind of things. So let's see what all these like activities resulted in. I just touched upon Trust EVM. So Trust EVM, even though they delayed a little bit their mainnet launch, their testnet is going on soon. And if you follow their Twitter, it's really impressive how many partnerships they keep announcing right here. So make sure to go to Trust EVM, follow their Twitter. Just last week, they announced a partnership with Meson, a stablecoin swap protocol. They announced a partnership with Salos, also launching on Trust EVM, which is, I'm not even security. Brings quality security solutions to Web3. And what was just coming out is that Trust EVM had a partnership with Multichain. So there are way more announcements I assume are coming. There's also like a couple of the EVM, the EVM Ideathon, the hackathon that the Trust EVM team was having, like the finalists will be announced soon, and these will also launch soon on when Trust EVM comes live. So there's a lot of activity right now on the Trust EVM Twitter, where you get a little bit of an idea of all the projects that are launching once the Trust EVM mainnet goes live. Another initiative that was basically like the earliest investment of the ENF, just before, even like just when they started and had some allocation, was the Eden community. So Eden was started like an idea about like by Dan Larimer when he came back to the community. He had this idea of like a new way of finding consensus, and that's when Eden got launched. And the ENF like immediately supported this idea, and we are now in the fourth term of Eden Chief Delegates being elected and trying to build out the EOS ecosystem and find leaders in our community. So Yves in this call showed that he's like basically the ENF is funding the Eden community with like their education. The treasury is like boosted. It was one of the largest investments that the ENF ever did, and but it's basically a very hands-off approach, because the ENF doesn't want to influence necessarily what Eden becomes or where is it going, because then we have like, you know, too much power of the ENF in our ecosystem. But Yves is meeting every like usually every term with the chief delegates to welcome them and you know, answer some questions. He's following all their calls. The chief delegates are meeting every week. Yeah, it was a really nice conversation. There were some details about like how they manage their treasury, if Eden needs more funding, why some delegates are not claiming their funds. We discussed this further in why some delegates might not be claiming, or how this claiming problem can be solved in the fireside chat. I recommend everybody to come to the fireside chat in the EOS community Discord every Wednesday. So it was a really nice conversation. Where it really became clear that Eden slowly but surely becomes like a really important player in the EOS ecosystem. So yeah, but another thing that Yves also kind of mentioned there, that this Genesis Eden won't be the only Eden that the ENF is funding, because we have plenty of other Edens that are forming and using this process of political playoffs. And I'm really happy to see that the Eden community just did their first internal testing, and it was a full success. So you can go now to the Eden KR, edenkorea.org, and you can see their presentation. We see here the participants. We see Max Cho, Han Rui, Kremer, a lot of like faces that we know. JG Kim, I saw him in the Western Eden as well. He was in one of my groups. So we see the Eden Korea coming up. I know that Eden China is also getting ready with their smart contracts. So sooner we will have more and more Edens coming to life. And yeah, pretty exciting stuff for the EOS community. Yeah, another thing that we saw in the Q3 report was launch of Yield Plus. I linked everybody that needs to learn more about this clip here, where Denis, who is one of the people that are working on Yield Plus, he's also a nice colleague here at EOS Nation, gave basically like a rundown of this initiative in this clip. And yeah, we will hear more stuff about Yield Plus and the impact it has on the ecosystem, the DeFi 3.0 ecosystem, shortly. Because like the first DeFi projects, they start reacting to this new incentive, like liquidity incentive model that the ENF is really like creating new incentives and rewards, like basically investing into incentive structures into of our ecosystem. So a lot of projects, they can offer their users, like a lot of DeFi projects can offer the users additional rewards. And there are many different approaches on how these rewards are distributed to these DeFi communities. Pretty interesting. But one way to requirement to become part of Yield Plus and qualify there is the Recovery Plus. So Recovery Plus is taking a new approach to DeFi. So we had DeFi summer, and a lot of people are excited about DeFi, but we also had like kind of the dark side of DeFi, where we see a lot of hacks, so one thing that the ENF is pushing is basically making DeFi more safe. So it's not it doesn't prevent necessarily the hacks, but with Recover Plus, we're designing a respond, detect, and recover program. So because when there's a hack that's happening, like everybody is under a lot of stress. So following a protocol similar like in a fire drill, it really brings in like a fast response. So the BPs can react, exchanges can be contacted, everybody knows what they're doing. So at least like a lot of stuff can be recovered. So it's not really 100% protection from hacks, right? Because with code, there can be things happening. One thing is like one requirement is to also like get an audit or making it open source to that the community can see what you're doing, do a KYC progress. There are a lot of like requirements for being a part of Recover Plus. So your protocol is, your DeFi protocol is very like more safe and is following like certain standards. So if you want to learn more, there's a detailed article about Recover Plus just released by the EOS Network Foundation on their blog. Here's the knee giving like a quote: Recover Plus is a tool that developers can use to build confidently and securely. In case of an extreme event, Recover Plus can be accessed to help recover from the event. So yeah, I recommend everyone to read this article to learn more about how EOS is solving the little risk that's attached to decentralized finance. So yeah, one of the Yield Plus participants, Defibox, just passed the DIP 47. And DIP 47 really has an interesting approach on how these rewards, these Yield Plus rewards, are redistributed to the users. So there wasn't. This was proposed, and the proposal was just approved here. And that's another thing. Like Defibox is managed by their community, so everything that is basically decided by their community in order to make this not just a decentralized finance, but like also governing it through a decentralized process. So here we see the results of the DIP 47, which is like 45% will be used to buy back and burn Box, the governance token of Defibox. 15% will be there as a staking incentive. If you stake into the liquidity pool, 10% are risk reserve, and 30% will be used for the team income so they can continue to build out their product. We saw while this already came on, while the proposal was still live and people could vote, we saw Dalio giving like a nice article about how this makes sense. The Box value upward spiral is an interesting concept on how this is like a long-term approach to bring the value of the Box token, the governance token, up. We see that Box is basically expanding in other satellite products, satellite protocols, and like basically have like a lot of cross relations to other satellites, if you will. Yeah, here, how is Defibox going to position itself? The whole thing was explained in a really nice video here, which you see on YouTube. I will shut this down. Like a really nice animation showing all the great, stuff that's coming through this proposal. So Yield Plus and Defibox bring some really interesting things to DeFi on EOS. And yeah, if you want to learn more, watch these videos, read about Recover Plus. Everything is linked in the show notes. And yeah, let us know in the comment how you feel about DeFi 3.0 on EOS. Yeah, and that brings us to a little break. I'm going to take a little bit of water. Hope everybody's doing and enjoying the show. How you feeling? How you guys are feeling about the big news from Korea? And all the other stuff that I just talked about, what basically all the results of the great work that the ENF is doing, and everybody in the ecosystem really at this point pushing our blockchain and our community forward. The least you can do to push everything forward is to share this tweet here, and you get rewarded some party cracker NFTs if you win the Bounty Blok contest. So how you do this is you go to the EOS Nation Twitter and retweet our latest tweet on the top here, which I'm just showing, and then you get and click on the link to the Bounty Blok contest right here. And shout out to Bounty Blok. They bring out really great tools for community engagement. Very impressed in what they're doing. If you want to build a Web3 community or really just build any community, check out Bounty Blok. It's really great to see. We have already like 22 entries right here. And great stuff. Let's see in the chat, everyone. Thanks. All right, Be Trustee in the house. Kevin is there. It's a huge deal. Absolutely. Yeah. Busan is already a big deal, but like I think we'll see more and more cities like building special economic zones, starting to jump really on this new wave of technology that's coming with Web3. Who else in the chat? Miata B. We see Catherine here. Daniel Keys. Yana is there. Cool. Good to see you all, man. And women. So yeah, another thing in basically in-house news, I mentioned Pomelo earlier before. You know, while we are preparing for season 4 going live in just a couple of weeks, and grants are opening, and we can start voting with our tokens, and in like donating to the public goods that we love to continue to build out our ecosystem. The Pomelo NFT series is moving forward, creating more excitement. And what you can do, since as of Thursday, you can blend your moon rocks, because we're going to the moon this season. Your moon rocks you can blend with one grant collectible into a robot potion. And if you throw in another token, which is like one of the moons from last season, you can create like a robot potion plus. So what do these robot potions do? Well, they generate robots, really cute little robots, which we'll take a look in a bit. If you haven't blended yet, blending is basically crafting. You need like different ingredients, this is like a recipe. Here we see like you need 4 moon rocks, 1 grant collectibles. The grant collectibles you need to buy as a pack. And then unpack the pack, and then you have like from all the grants that came from the previous season, we basically built them a little NFT monument to recognize their success on Pomelo. You see all the stats here. Yeah, so looking at the robots, we have 5 different types of robots with 3 different indicators of how much energy they have. And these robots really love the designs. Shout out to Shramona in our team, doing an awesome job right here. These robots are really cute little helpers. We have the power bot, taking about all things electricity on the planet. We have the disco bot, like doing some funky moves on the moon, so we all have some good times right there. You see the 3 power indicators we see here, like this one doesn't have much power anymore. You see the battery is empty. He's not so happy with his mouse, and the eyes are red. Others have like really green eyes and are full of energy. Here, this mining bot is like full of energy, excited to mine some resources on the moon for our Pomelo moon base. So basically, you can accumulate these helpers and then later like use them based on a point system to create like your moon base. Like we will reveal more of these in the coming weeks leading up to Pomelo launch. But what's important to recognize, if you go to the secondary market, right now I see like everything is listed as 1 EOS. So if you're smart, you look for the ones that have full power. So the green eyes and the full battery, these will give you 5 points. And the ones with the half closed yellow eyes will 3 points, and the ones with the red eyes, that are empty battery, they only give you 1 point. And we also released like an interesting article, which I will link later. Unfortunately, it's not open in my tabs right now, that explains all these kind of mechanics, the whole Pomelo NFT adventure in detail, with some interesting infographics where you have all the blending recipes, all the indicators and all that stuff together for you to learn more about the Pomelo NFTs. But you can also check out the hot sauce every Friday, because we give you regular updates right here. In other news, Chintai. So Chintai is a tokenization platform, and they continue to collect really the licenses that they need to be completely compliant. So tokenization of real world assets is always like a kind of a tricky way legally. And the Chintai team, they started out just as a platform to host resources, to basically like lend out your resources and earn revenue from this very early on in the ecosystem. But then they went into like tokenizing, like from real estate to all kinds of other things. And they continue to, they're registered in Singapore, and there they just got the capital markets services license in August this year. And now they received another license important for their business as a recognized market operator. From the Monetary Authority of Singapore. So Singapore is similar, like I guess Busan, if not even more, like one of the hubs where crypto is and Web3 and blockchain technologies are really pushed forward. And I think it's a great like that Chintai is there as one of the projects that started on EOS and has a token on EOS, the checks token, really is like leading the pack there when it comes to tokenization in a compliant way. So shout out to the Chintai team. We talked about it in the fireside chat a little bit. If anybody on the Chintai team is watching the hot sauce right now, please come on the fireside chat. We would love to hear more. But it's great to you know, see the development here. They must be super busy. I can't wait for their platform to go live. Yeah. And if you want to learn more, check out the show notes. You find everything there. Cool. Moving on. Another Q3 report. We have a lot of reports in our ecosystem, like all the initiatives, they are all about transparency and showing how they use the funds that they basically have at their disposal from different sources. They and one of the basically incubators in our program, in our ecosystem, is the Helios team. So the Helios team went through quite a bit of an evolution. They are also like a little bit older than a year, and they have an ongoing incubator program where you can sign up, and they basically guide a lot of projects that want to build on any Antelope chain. So Helios is not just focused on EOS, it's basically focused on every blockchain that uses the Antelope protocol that was previously the EOS.io protocol. So their incubator program is really interesting. We talked about some of their interviews later. You can check out their YouTube channel where they host these interviews and basically like introduce the projects that went through their incubator program. We see in the report basically a lot of their observations. They really reach out to not just inside of our community, they reach out to a lot of like other builders in the space. That's what they interview them in Twitter Spaces, like the futurist Twitter Spaces are pretty interesting. They also do, right after the hot sauce in 30 minutes, they do one Twitter Space where they have the breakfast and blockchain and breakfast. I'm not sure about the order, but it's definitely a cozy environment to learn more about like the general Antelope space and all of what Helios is doing. And yeah, another thing besides the ongoing incubator is the Ideas Zone. So that was a series of workshops that they did and guidance. It's running like almost since 5 to 6 weeks, and the workshop series is over right now. The submission phase is there. We have over 500 participants already in this Ideas Zone, and we're getting ready for the finals in 16 days. And this is going to be some kind of like, as you see here, the picture is going to be pretty exciting. It's going to be some Shark Tank style presentation by those grants or by those projects who basically made it to the last round. I'm super excited to see what came out of this Ideas Zone, especially because like it was really open, because didn't need to necessarily be a developer. It's not a traditional hackathon. It's like an Ideas Zone. You could basically come up with an idea and like get matched with people or find people among these like over 500 participants to basically bounce off ideas and what we can do in Web3 future with decentralized technologies. So yeah, super excited about this. If you missed out, check out all the workshops. Submission phase is, I think, almost over. You might be able to submit something quickly over the weekend. In the fireside chat, Chris Barnes from the Helios team said like they're still missing a couple of submissions in the DeFi category. So if you are a DeFi project and have a great idea, or if you don't have a project but have an idea, like, you know, check out the Helios heliosrising.com. You'll find all the information right there, and check out their Q3 report, where you see like a lot of their activities in the last quarter. Here are the finals, and we already see some of the judges being revealed. So we see a lot of people that did some of the workshops being here. The judges, Darren from the UX network. We see Nathan James from the Dev Relations from the ENF, Zach Gall from the ENF. We see people that help building the EVM for the ENF. Or know how the EMM stuff works, and one more judge is still yet not revealed. So exciting stuff right here. Follow Helios Rising on Twitter, and yeah, their Twitter space coming up in 25 minutes. So if you want more news or more conversations around EOS, definitely check them out. So that's bringing us to the last topic, which is Upland. Upland is a super impressive, interesting metaverse, the virtual property game on the EOS blockchain. It's really bringing a lot of attention to EOS, while they're having like a lot of users, and on DApp Radar constantly ranking really in the top 10. And as you can see, like there's a bunch of stuff. They do great work engaging and building their community. It's really like you almost don't feel that it's on the blockchain. They do a lot of like content coming up on various platforms, but for the Halloween weekend right now, they do a very interesting spooky neighborhood challenge. So what you can do is you have your property in the metaverse, but you dress it up collectively with other people playing the games. So basically other people that are your neighbors. And in this challenge, it's really not about your house. You need to collaborate with other people to make your neighborhood kind of the spookiest neighborhood in the Upland metaverse. And I think that's the magic of Upland, where a lot of people can meet and start like decorating their area, but also collaborate creatively. So it's pretty impressive. Currently on the lead, we have Chicago Portage Park. And we can look here a little bit how these neighborhoods look. So that's pretty cool. We see some great skulls, some snakes, some flying zeppelins with bat wings, some zombie hands coming out of the roof. Crazy stuff going on right here. So what else do we have? Here we have some mushed baby on a rooftop, some clown face in the fun house, super creepy. So yeah, I'm excited how the metaverse spooky neighborhood challenge, who will win. Pretty cool stuff. They also worked with Jackie Tsai for special decorations. So all these decoration elements, you can either do them by yourself in a 3D builder, or you can buy some of these digital assets in the shop, in the Uplands basically digital asset shop. And they collaborate with Jackie Tsai, a digital artist, and yeah, in a partnership. Pretty cool stuff. Let's see what we have here. Some wrapping, some creepy clauses you can put over your buildings, some explorer skulls. Pretty cool stuff. Really nice to see how they integrate artists, creatives into their game, and do these like flash sales where you need to sign up in order to buy some of these, and they're pretty fast sold out. Because the chances are, if you have one of these like super special assets to decorate your neighborhood, you might win this competition. So it really makes a lot of sense to me. But that's not all that they're doing. The month of October was really busting in the Upland. So they also sold some digital assets as a fundraiser to to fight against breast cancer. So really cool that they're, you know, it's a game, but they also have an impact in the real world by bringing communities together and, you know, making a positive change. So this is also listed in the comments. The registration is already over, so we're almost like, it's super fast how the Upland world is doing their events. One great way to stay up to date there is watching or listening to the new podcast, Navigating the Metaverse. There's a lot of information there. You get to know the people, the players, the people behind it, other metaverse builders. Super interesting podcast, just launched. I think it's episode 8 or 9 right now. Really high frequency of episodes coming out there. And check out the roadmap. Really impressive roadmap right here. A lot of stuff coming up. Also linked here in the show notes. And this is also linked. So wherever you want to do something with Upland and experience virtual property in the metaverse on the EOS blockchain, check out Upland. So yeah, this brings us to the end of the show almost, but the end of this show doesn't mean you can't engage more with the EOS community. So we go to the community events. I touched already upon like the real world events where the ENF is like being part of a lot of like crypto conferences around the world, in Spain, Portugal, and soon coming up the Token 2049 in London. So give us a shout out if you're in London or anywhere in Portugal or Spain. And but you don't need to really go out to engage. So online, we have a lot of events going on. We have the Eden Fractal meeting every Wednesday. Just a great way to introduce yourself to the community and find like really helpful people showing you the ropes of what you can do and how you can engage and learn and you know, bring value and get value back, because you can earn respect tokens and EOS tokens just by participating there. The Helios Futurist series, as I also mentioned, is Wednesday 1 hour after on Twitter Spaces. Then on Wednesday as well, we have the EOS Fireside Chat, where a lot of like interesting conversation is happening, and a lot of clips of these conversations are published as well. If you missed the conversation or you know, then the EOS support giveaway show is also a great way to earn some rewards and learn about EOS every Thursdays at 16 UTC. The hot sauce every Friday right here, right now. And right after this, in 18 minutes, the Helios Twitter space. And yeah, on Sundays, we have the Eden Town Hall, a nice event on the Eden Discord event. So yeah, all these news you find summarized, and also some of the articles and news that I shared right here in the Everything EOS weekly report coming out on the blog of the eosnetwork.com. I shared the latest, this one here, in the show notes as well, but it's always coming out on Mondays. So if you want to be super up to date, check out the eosnetwork.com blog. You will find a lot of interesting articles there, all these videos, all these clips, lots of information. Really a great summary of all the activity that's going on in EOS. So with that said, I wish everybody an awesome weekend, and let's close the show with some super noise, air sirens, and a good go, EOS!